The Airbus A380 was meant to be unstoppable. The world's biggest passenger jet. A double-decker built for the busiest skies on Earth. Airbus had the perfect customer in mind, Japan Airlines. It ran domestic flights every hour. It dominated Tokyo's slot-constrained airports. And their biggest rival, ANA, was preparing to buy the A380. Yet Japan Airlines never ordered a single one. No turtle-themed flagships, no glamorous super jumbos, just silence. On paper, it looked like hesitation. In reality, it was one of the most disciplined decisions in aviation history. So, why did Japan Airlines reject the aircraft everyone thought was built for them? And what does that reveal about the brutal economics of running an airline after bankruptcy? To understand, we first need to know that Tokyo has got two airports, Haneda and Narita, among the busiest in Asia. Combined, they process around more than 100 million passengers annually in recent years, with massive international flows to the US, Europe, and across Asia. But here's what makes Japan unique. The domestic market is absolutely insane. Routes like Tokyo-Osaka see 10 million passengers per year. That's 27,000 daily. Airbus A350s and Boeing 777s packed with over 400 passengers make hourly flights. 1 hour gate to gate, then turn around and repeat. Japanese business travelers pay premium fares for departure flexibility and punctuality. Leisure travelers accept high-density configurations for lower costs. JAL and ANA split this gold mine. If you can fill a trip 7 with over 500 people domestically every hour, surely an A380 with 550 internationally makes sense. That's exactly what Airbus thought. It was dead wrong. It's the mid-2000s. Airbus is on a global mission pitching A380s to every major carrier. Singapore Airlines, Emirates, British Airways, Lufthansa, and others. Its sales team had compelling presentations showing hub economics, slot utilization, and passenger appeal. It targeted JAL with what seemed like the most obvious pitch in aviation history. Look at your slot constraints. Haneda and Narita are completely maxed out. Look at your passenger density. You're already operating 500-plus seat domestic flights. Look at your international routes. Tokyo to New York, Los Angeles, London, Paris. Perfect A380 markets. The presentation was probably flawless. Airbus had done their homework. It knew JAL's route network, passenger fixtures, and slot limitations. On paper, JAL looked like the perfect A380 customer. Singapore Airlines and Emirates were fighting over delivery slots, placing massive orders for A380s. British Airways committed. Even smaller carriers were getting seduced by the prestige and passenger appeal. Meanwhile, JAL's team considered the A380 proposal and declines in 2007. Its public reasons cited Airbus's production delays, which were plaguing the program and pushing back deliveries by years. JAL's executives weren't just being polite. Here's what really shaped the airline's long-term thinking. While airlines worldwide were getting seduced by 4 engines and double-decker spectacle, JAL stuck to its guns after the initial rejection. Later, it doubled down on building the most efficient premium long-haul fleet in Asia. Built on one revolutionary principle, twin-engine dominance, Boeing 77300ER became its long-haul flagship optimized for its route-specific requirements. Then came large strategic orders for Airbus A35900 and A35100 aircraft in 2013. Specifically planned to replace aging 77,200 and 77,300 aircraft in its fleet. This wasn't random aircraft shopping. This was systematic fleet planning. The strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of jamming 550 passengers into one massive A380 flight per day, offer multiple daily frequencies using smaller, more efficient aircraft. Tokyo to Los Angeles. 3 trips, 77 flights instead of one A380. Tokyo to London, multiple A350 departures instead of one giant aircraft. Business travelers, JAL's absolute cash cow. Get real choices. Early morning departure for same-day meetings. Afternoon departure to maximize the Tokyo schedule. Evening departure for overnight flights. Multiple options instead of one giant airplane they might miss. Japan Airlines filed for bankruptcy protection in 2010, one of aviation history's largest, with debts of about $25 billion. This wasn't sudden. JAL had been bleeding money for years, weighed down by political route decisions and a bloated cost structure, prioritizing national prestige over profits. The old JAL operated like a government department. Routes flew because politicians wanted them, not because they made financial sense. Aircraft were bought for flag-waving ceremonies. Massive overhead was maintained because cutting jobs was politically sensitive. The restructuring was brutal, but transformative. New management stripped away about 16,000 jobs and canceled dozens of unprofitable routes. Most importantly, they established one rule: financial discipline. Every decision had to pass a strict profitability test. This wasn't just restructuring, it was cultural transformation. The new JL learned to say no to anything that didn't contribute directly to sustainable profitability. In this post-bankruptcy reality, revisiting something like the A380 would have represented everything wrong with old JAL. 4 engines meant higher costs versus twins. Small subfleets created massive overhead, zero flexibility, exactly what a disciplined airline can't afford. The bankruptcy taught JAL that airlines succeed by being boringly profitable, not spectacularly broke. But here's what confused industry observers. JAL does operate massive 777s with over 500 seats on domestic routes. Tokyo to Osaka packed every single flight. Sapporo, Fukuoka, Okinawa, same story. So if it can make ultra-high-density wide-bodies work domestically, why not A380s internationally? The answer reveals something most aviation experts completely miss about operational complexity. Those domestic flights are completely different operationally. Under 2 hours gate to gate with absolutely rapid turnaround requirements. Passengers are mostly Japanese business travelers who know the exact routine. Arrive board efficiently, minimal carry-on issues, deplane quickly. Airports are specifically designed for high-volume domestic processing. These passengers travel the same routes regularly. They know which seat they prefer, how early to arrive, and what to expect. The operational flow is predictable and optimized. International flights are operationally nightmarish by comparison. You need extended boarding time for passenger processing, complex baggage handling with customs requirements, immigration procedures that create bottlenecks, passengers from dozens of countries with different expectations and languages. Most critically, international routes don't have the consistent 550-plus passenger demand that domestic trunk routes generate. A Tokyo-Osaka flight is packed because millions of people need to make that trip regularly. A Tokyo-Paris flight has seasonal variations, economic sensitivity, and competition from other European gateways. An A380 on domestic routes would be an operational disaster. The boarding process alone would destroy turnaround times. Gate constraints would create system-wide bottlenecks. The economic model that works for 777s wouldn't scale to A380s. While JAL figured this out through careful analysis, their biggest rival was about to make a very expensive mistake. ANA ordered exactly 3 A380s in 2016, specifically for the Tokyo-Honolulu leisure market. Flying Honu turtle liveries became Instagram sensations aimed at Hawaii's massive popularity with Japanese vacationers. The aircraft were configured for leisure traffic with 520 seats across all classes marketed as flying resort experiences. The strategy seemed brilliant. Hawaii had received over 1.5 million Japanese visitors annually pre-COVID. But ANA's A380s were limited to one scheduled route, Tokyo-Narita to Honolulu. That's it. When demand was strong, profits looked decent. When demand wavered, they became financial anchors. Then the pandemic hit like a sledgehammer. Hawaii travel disappeared completely. Those turtle-branded giants, they sat idle while ANA absorbed high fixed costs for grounded aircraft earning zero revenue. Worse, ANA couldn't redeploy them. Too big for most routes requiring specialized ground equipment and with leisure cabin configurations unsuitable for business markets. Even in recovery, the A380s remain problematic. Niche tools rather than profitable core assets. JAL likely studied these struggles and saw every risk confirmed. Then here's what some aviation enthusiasts miss. Small subfleets of unique aircraft are financial killers. ANA's 3 A380s need a completely separate infrastructure. Specialized crew training costing hundreds of thousands per pilot. Unique spare parts inventory, modified ground equipment, different maintenance procedures requiring specialized tools. JAL understood this through post-bankruptcy analysis. Their twin-engine Focus 77,300 flagships, a 35,900 and a 35,100 replacements allow shared training programs, common parts pools, and simplified operations. A pilot trained on A350 quickly transitions to other Airbus types. Maintenance crews don't need specialized equipment for oddball aircraft. This fleet commonality became JAL's competitive advantage. Haneda and Narita are among the most slot-constrained airports in the world. You'd think this economic reality strongly favors A380's maximize passengers per precious slot. Right? Completely wrong. JAL's sophisticated strategy focused on frequency and schedule convenience rather than maximum theoretical capacity. Here's why this approach generates more revenue despite carrying fewer passengers per flight. A business traveler flying Tokyo to New York wants scheduling options that fit their specific needs. Maybe they prefer a morning departure to arrive in time for same-day meetings. Maybe they need an evening flight to maximize their Tokyo schedule before traveling. With multiple flights throughout the day, they get real choices that justify premium fare payments. One daily A380 flight eliminates that flexibility entirely. Miss the departure because of a delayed domestic connection? Wait until tomorrow and lose a full business day. Flight delayed due to weather or technical issues? Your entire trip planning gets disrupted with no alternatives. But JAL's strategy went much deeper than just passenger convenience. They leveraged international partnerships brilliantly through its One World Alliance membership and joint venture agreements. Consider its Tokyo-Los Angeles route strategy. Instead of operating one massive A380 flight carrying 550 passengers, JAL operates multiple daily flights with carefully coordinated timing. Some connect seamlessly with American Airlines' domestic network for onward travel to secondary U.S. cities. Others time perfectly for business schedules with same-day arrival options. The result? Better overall slot utilization, higher premium passenger capture rates, and operational flexibility when seasonal demand shifts or unexpected events disrupt travel patterns. This partnership approach allowed JAL to spread traffic efficiently across its network, while maintaining the frequency advantages that business travelers pay premium fares to access. While competitors were chasing spectacle with mega aircraft, JAL was systematically playing chess with network strategy. There was a trap. The A380 prestige factor, the world's largest passenger jet, an aviation enthusiast's heaven. The A380 became a status symbol for airlines wanting to project global importance and technological leadership. We operate the most advanced aircraft became marketing gold, even when the operational economics didn't support the decision. JAL completely avoided this entire PR circus. It has been methodically building sustainable, profitable operations based on the hard-learned lessons from its 2010 bankruptcy and restructuring experience. Recent fleet decisions continue proving this disciplined philosophy. Strategic aircraft selections based purely on route economics and operational requirements, not prestige projects that drain resources for marketing benefits. The new JAL understood something their competitors missed. Passengers care about schedule convenience, fare value, and service quality. They don't choose airlines based on aircraft types or engineering impressiveness. Why did Japan Airlines reject the A380? It simply didn't need such high capacity. JAL rejected it because it failed every strategic test after its 2010 transformation. Fleet strategy demanded twin-engine efficiency and flexibility. Market analysis showed that frequency and premium traffic generated more profit than maximum capacity. Post-bankruptcy discipline meant cost control over spectacle. Japan Airlines avoided the A380 not because they couldn't use it, but because they didn't need it. By rejecting spectacle in favor of strategy, JAL sidestepped the pitfalls of the world's biggest airliner. Sometimes the most strategic decision doesn't make exciting headlines, but it does generate sustainable profits that keep airlines flying profitably for decades. Hey, before you go, the YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to like this video next, so why not check it out?